Job of staying within his form, going to his arms when his legs are gone and tired, and not tightening up like some of his other competitors.
After 3 years of complete exile from competitive track and field, Olympic gold medalist Randolph Ross stepped back onto the starting line and shocked everyone. The 24-year-old sprinter didn't just return to competition. He finished second at the Meeting International de Marseille with a time of 45.41 seconds. This performance ranked among the top 25 by an American this season, a remarkable achievement for someone who hadn't raced competitively since 2022. But this comeback story isn't just about athletic prowess. Ross's journey from rising star to banned athlete to competitive returner involves lies, tampering charges, and a fabricated email that cost him everything. The question now becomes, can a former Olympic champion who lied to anti-doping officials reclaim his place among America's elite sprinters? Randolph Dwayne Ross Jr. was born on January 1st, 2001. Standing 6'1", he competed for North Carolina A&T Aggies under the coaching of his father, Dwayne Ross, a former Olympian in the 110-meter hurdles. Together, they transformed A&T into one of the most dominant HBCU track programs in history. Ross burst onto the national scene during his sophomore year at North Carolina A&T. At the Tiger Paw Invitational in Clemson, South Carolina, on February 12, 2021, he ran the 400 meters in 45.21 seconds, the fastest time in the nation at that point. The next day, he clocked 20.50 seconds in the 200 meters, claiming the top spot nationally in that distance as well. The track world immediately recognized Ross as a legitimate competitor at the highest level. At the 2021 NCAA Division I Indoor Track and Field Championships, he finished second to Noah Williams. But it was at the Outdoor Championships where Ross truly announced his arrival. He won the 400 meters with a time of 43.85 seconds, setting a 2021 world-leading mark that ranks 18th on the all-time list. 9 days after his NCAA triumph, Ross finished third at the U.S. Olympic Trials on June 20th, 2021, securing his spot for the Tokyo Olympics. Team USA added him to their 4x400-meter relay squad, setting the stage for Olympic glory. At the Tokyo Olympics, Ross competed in both the individual 400 meters and the 4x400-meter relay. In the individual event, he was eliminated in the first round, finishing fourth in his heat with a time of 45.67 seconds. However, his relay performance told a different story. Ross helped the U.S. men's 4x400 relay team qualify for the finals alongside his former NCAA teammate. The team posted the best qualifying time of 2 minutes 57.77 seconds in the first round. In the finals, they claimed gold with a time of 2 minutes 55.70 seconds, nearly breaking the Olympic record. Less than 1 year after his Olympic success, Ross continued his dominance in collegiate competition. He won both the indoor and outdoor NCAA championships in the 400 meters during 2022. Both victories came by significant margins, confirming that his breakthrough wasn't a temporary surge, but sustained excellence. His reign of terror appeared unstoppable. Ross had established himself as one of the brightest prospects in American track and field, with a personal best that ranked among the fastest 400-meter times in history. Ross's meteoric rise came to an abrupt halt on July 16, 2022. The Athletics Integrity Unit suspended him just before the World Championships in Oregon. The reason? 3 whereabouts failures within a 12-month period, meaning officials were unable to locate him for required drug testing. In December 2022, the AIU made the suspension official. Ross received a 3-year ban retroactive to July 1, 2022. The charges included whereabouts failures and tampering with doping control. The tampering charge proved most damaging. Ross had attempted to fabricate an email to testing officials. The timeline of Ross's violations reveals a pattern of administrative chaos during a hectic period of his life. The first missed test occurred in April 2022, when Ross forgot to update his location before a meet in Gainesville, Florida. This happened while he was competing at nationals, moving from North Carolina to Tennessee and preparing to transfer schools. The second failure came during the NCAA championships in Eugene, Oregon, where he was defending his 400-meter title. Ross argued that anti-doping officials could have located him at the meet, but the rules required formal updates through an app regardless of his visible presence at the competition. The third failure proved most complex and ultimately most damaging. Ross had moved to Knoxville, Tennessee, but the AIU still visited his old address in Greensboro. While USADA had updated information about his new location, the AIU did not. This communication breakdown set the stage for Ross's most serious violation. Faced with his third whereabouts failure, Ross submitted a screenshot of what he claimed was an automatically generated email confirming an update to his whereabouts information. The email stated that he had to take an academic exam at the exact time of his drug test, explaining his absence. When questioned by AIU representatives, Ross immediately admitted that he had altered the email. The athletics integrity unit later discovered the truth. Ross was not required to be in class at the time of his drug tests. His claim about the academic exam was, in the words of critics, a bold-faced lie. The 3-year ban carried severe consequences that extended far beyond missed competitions. Ross lost his spot on the U.S. team, his college eligibility, and what would likely have been a lucrative professional contract. The suspension also meant he missed the opportunity to qualify for the 2024 Paris Olympics. The ban meant Ross would be sidelined from age 21 to 24, prime years for any sprinter. The timing couldn't have been worse for an athlete who had just established himself as one of the world's fastest 400-meter runners. During his suspension, Ross completed his finance degree at North Carolina A&T and began studying for a real estate license. He continued training, though restrictions prevented him from working with USATF-affiliated coaches or athletes. One exception allowed him to continue training with his father due to their family connection. The isolation from the track community lasted 3 full years. Ross was essentially banned from the sport that had defined his identity and future prospects. July 1, 2025 marked the end of Ross's suspension. His first opportunity to return to competition came at the World Athletics Continental Tour in Marseille, France, a bronze-level meet that would serve as his testing ground. Ross lined up against a strong international field for the men's 400 meters. The race represented more than just a return to competition. It was a public test of his resilience and readiness to compete at the elite level again. He finished second behind fellow American Demarius Smith, who won with a personal best of 45.19 seconds. Ross's time of 45.41 seconds fell well short of his personal best of 43.85. But the performance quickly signaled that the former NCAA and Olympic champion remains a competitive force in American sprinting. The result ranked among the top 25 by an American this season, a remarkable achievement given his 3-year absence from competition. For context, the world-leading time in the 400 meters for 2025 sits at 43.76 seconds, indicating Ross still has significant ground to cover to return to elite form. Ross's return time of 45.41 seconds provides several data points for analyzing his current fitness level. While 1.56 seconds slower than his personal best, the performance demonstrated that his speed endurance remained relatively intact after 3 years away from competitive racing. The gap between his comeback time and the current world-leading mark of 43.76 seconds illustrates the challenge facing Ross. Elite 400-meter running operates on razor-thin margins, where improvements are measured in hundredths of seconds rather than full seconds. However, the performance exceeded many expectations for a first race back. Ross showed the poise and tactical awareness that once made him one of the sport's brightest young stars. He positioned himself well throughout the race and finished strongly, suggesting his racing instincts remained sharp despite the extended layoff.
Pan on the inside, and look at the Italians and Great Britain coming through. Oh, this is close. And it's de Grasse, Andre de Grasse.
This is the story of Bayanda Walaza, a 19-year-old South African sprinter who shocked the world with his talent, but somehow hasn't gotten the attention he deserves. In August 2024, Walaza became the first South African in history to win an Olympic medal while still in high school, running the lead-off leg in the men's 4x100-meter relay final at the Paris Olympics. Walaza helped power South Africa to a silver medal, finishing behind Canada with an African record time of 37.57 seconds. It was a moment of triumph that seemed to come out of nowhere, especially since just a few days earlier, Walaza wasn't even supposed to be in the final. Initially listed as a reserve, Walaza was unexpectedly called up when fellow sprinter Benjamin Richardson suffered an injury during the 200-meter heats. The teenager, who was also juggling preliminary matric exams at the time, had even considered heading back to South Africa before he got the call. It was also emotional because I didn't think I was going to run, then the next moment they're telling me I would be running, Walaza told in an interview. It made me strong. His performance under pressure spoke volumes, proving he wasn't just a junior standout, but a clutch performer on the biggest stage. If Paris was the announcement, Lima was the confirmation. Just weeks after the Olympics, Walaza flew to Peru for the World U20 Championships. There, he accomplished something no South African had done since 1998. He won both the 100 meters and 200 meters titles. In the 100 meters, he clocked 10.19 seconds. In the 200 meters, he edged out rising Australian star Gout in 20.52. Walaza became the first South African to win the 100 meters, 200 meters double at the U20 Worlds. His win over Gout, in particular, sparked discussions online, with fans calling it a glimpse of the next generation of sprinting rivalry. Walaza began his 2025 season by shattering expectations. At the Gauteng North Championships in March, he ran 9.99 in the 100 meters, making him the 9th South African to officially break the 10-second barrier and setting a new national U20 record. He followed that just 4 days later by clocking 20.08 in the 200 meters, surpassing Clarence Munyai's previous U20 record of 20.10. I am in the driving seat for now because I've qualified. It makes me relaxed, he said. I think it will be a good year for me. Maybe I'll feel pressure when it's close to September. But for now, all I'm thinking about is winning. In May 2025, Walaza competed at the World Athletics Relays in Guangzhou, China. South Africa's 4x100-meter team, anchored by Akani Simbine and led off by Walaza, claimed gold with a time of 37.61 seconds. It was a historic win that helped redeem the nation after past disappointments in relay competitions, including dropped batons and disqualifications in previous global meets. Walaza's composed execution in the high-stakes final helped set the tone for the team, solidifying his reputation as a pressure performer. That win ensured South Africa's automatic qualification for the 2025 World Championships in Tokyo. Walaza's running technique has earned him the nickname Wobble Wobble, due to his flailing arms and asymmetrical form. In training, he maintains textbook mechanics with closed hands and upright posture. But in competition, the stress and adrenaline often trigger his signature flail. When I train, I don't usually run the way I do in competition. My hands are closed. My form is perfect in training, and then it happens when competition, when I don't notice, boom, I'm back to that running style. Like legends Donovan Bailey and Bob Hayes, who had similarly unconventional styles, Walaza proves that efficiency often trumps elegance. Despite his rapid ascent, Walaza remains a student of the sport. In June 2025, he traveled to Jamaica to race at the Racers Grand Prix, facing off against the likes of Oblique Seville and Kashane Thompson. Speaking ahead of the race, he admitted, "This sport is a sport where you have to face your fears. I'll say I have fears of racing people and I'll need to get over that. I need to be strong within and to face it." He emphasized that his current focus isn't chasing times, but mastering his craft. "If I start putting times first, it will actually kill who I am because I will start running for the times and forget what makes the sport fun," he said. The times will come with the perfect execution. One of the most compelling narratives in junior athletics today is the growing rivalry between Walaza and Gout. Their showdown in Lima added fuel to the fire. Since then, Gout ran a blistering 20.05 to win the 200 meters at the Queensland Championships, narrowly missing his national senior record. Walaza acknowledged the excitement around their rivalry. "People talk about this rivalry, which excites me and shows that people notice athletics. I've seen the comments, Walaza versus Gout. It makes me want to race him again. Bayanda Walaza has emerged as one of South Africa's most exciting sprinting prospects, with an Olympic silver medal, 2 U20 world titles, multiple national age group records, and a sub-10 clocking. His resume is already among the best in the country's sprinting history. His rise also comes at a time when South Africa is rebuilding its global sprinting image. Alongside seasoned stars like Akani Simbine and rising peers like Shaun Maswangani and Benjamin Richardson, Walaza represents a new era. As the nation gears up for the 2025 World Championships and looks ahead to the LA 2028 Olympics, Bayanda Walaza is not just part of the future, he is leading it. If Bayanda Walaza just earned your respect, drop your thoughts in the comments. Like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss the next time he breaks a record or silences the doubters.
Walaza for South Africa is flying. Johansson on the outside also running strongly. But Walaza is being pursued by Jake Odie Jordan as it's a roll. Just too late. It is the double for Bayanda Walaza.
South Africa has a new name lighting up the track, and it's sending shockwaves through the sprinting world. Meet Bayanda Walaza, the 100-meter and 200-meter sensation that's turning heads and pushing veterans to the edge of their comfort zones. If you haven't heard of him yet, you will now. Born in the heart of South Africa, Bayanda Walaza didn't grow up with elite facilities or fancy shoes. What he had was a gift and a determination to match. Raised in a working-class neighborhood, he began running as a kid in schoolyard races, always the fastest, always a step ahead.
His natural speed caught the eye of local coaches by the time he was 12. Within a few years, he was breaking records at youth meets and making waves nationally. His family, recognizing his potential, backed him through local training programs, childhood photos, early race footage, coach interviews.
One coach recalled, he didn't just run fast, he ran smart. That's rare at his age. By his late teens, Bayanda had clocked a 10.34 second 100 meter and a 20.74 second 200 meter, numbers that put him in elite conversations.
Walaza! 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 Walaza!
Here comes Bayanda Walaza. Walaza's going to win this one, and he does so. 20.09. Oh.
In 2022, he stunned South African fans with a blistering 200-meter performance that caught the attention of scouts and international analysts. Just a year later, in 2023, he clocked a personal best of 10.19 seconds in the 100 meters. These weren't just fast times, they were statements. And with every race, Bayanda was proving he wasn't just promising, he was arriving. His performance at the South African National Championships drew standing ovations. Beating more experienced rivals, Bayanda claimed silver in the 200 meters with a time of 20.45 seconds and pushed the eventual winner to the very last meter.
Just too late. It is the double for Bayanda Walaza. Gout gave a glimpse of why he is a name for the future.
Speed doesn't come from nowhere. Bayanda's training is relentless. His weekly regimen includes explosive gym workouts focusing on strength and power development with deadlifts, sled pulls, and Olympic lifts. On the track, he sharpens his sprint mechanics with reaction drills and block starts to ensure he explodes out of the gate. To boost agility and coordination, he incorporates plyometrics and core sessions that include bounding, medicine ball routines, and hurdle hops. His recovery process is just as meticulous, involving protein-focused meals, strict hydration routines, regular massages, and physiotherapy to keep his body in peak condition. Bayanda trains under elite coaches in Pretoria, focusing not just on speed, but biomechanics. They analyze his every stride. His reaction time at the start has improved to under 0.14 seconds. He absorbs feedback instantly. That's what sets him apart. Bayanda made his international debut in 2023 at the African U20 Championships. He placed second in the 200 meters, narrowly missing gold but earning massive respect. In 2024, he shocked seasoned sprinters at the ASA Grand Prix, finishing first in the 100 meters ahead of Olympic veterans. Whispers turned into headlines. Who is this kid from South Africa? In one training camp, he reportedly outpaced 2 national team members. Word spread fast. A star wasn't just born. He was sprinting past expectations.
Gal Walaza for South Africa is flying. Johansson on the outside also running strongly. But Walaza is being pursued by Jake Odie Jordan as his nearest challenge.
Off the track, Bayanda is described as humble, focused, and fiercely competitive. He often visits local schools to speak about perseverance and dreams. He's also known to crack jokes in the locker room and never forgets where he came from. That balance of focus and fun makes him a favorite among teammates and fans alike. His Instagram has grown steadily, showcasing his workouts, races, and motivational captions that resonate with young fans. Sports journalists in South Africa are calling Bayanda the most promising sprinter in a decade. He reminds us of early Wade van Niekerk, quiet, disciplined, and deadly fast. Fans are filling comment sections. He's our next Olympic hope. This kid gives me chills. His 200-meter finish is explosive. There's growing excitement around potential sponsorship deals and international training opportunities. Some predict he could qualify for Paris 2024.
Away, it's heading for a South African 1-2, but here comes Bootsong. South Africa, gold and bronze.
Bayanda has his eyes firmly set on the Olympics and the Diamond League circuit. His primary goals include breaking the elusive 10.00 second barrier in the 100 meters and consistently running under 20.00 seconds in the 200 meters. Beyond personal bests, he's focused on qualifying for the World Athletics Championships and making his mark on the global stage. Currently, he is preparing for a series of international meets in Europe, where he'll face off against some of the fastest sprinters from the United States and Jamaica. He's currently preparing for international meets in Europe, where he'll race against top-tier sprinters from the US and Jamaica. The global sprint scene better watch out. This South African rocket is not slowing down. Veterans in the game are beginning to take note and worry. A new face running times that took them years to achieve? That's pressure. Bayanda's ability to close a race in the final 30 meters is particularly feared. Even when trailing, he seems to find another gear. It's not just his times, it's his composure, the confidence, the hunger. Bayanda Walaza isn't a maybe. He's a rising force. From dirt tracks to digital headlines, he embodies the spirit of South African athletics. Raw talent, hard work, and unstoppable belief. So, is Bayanda Walaza the next big thing in sprinting? If the clock is the judge, the answer is racing toward